Welcome. Hello, and welcome to the Knives and Nonsense Show.
Howdy, howdy.
I am your host, Thrifty. I'm here with Chris. We don't have any other guests this evening. We're just going to be doing this ourselves today. Got some fun topics to talk about, though. First thing we're going to do tonight is take a look at a live review. I haven't done one of those in a long, long time. So we're going to do that. But before we kick it off, let's acknowledge our audience by doing a quick roll call here. We had Marco come in first when the knife was created. So hello to Marco. Thank you for coming in. And we have a special announcement for the Commando Club. First member to ever reach 3 years, and the never thought it would happen. Like, I created this avatar thinking, nah, this is never gonna happen. But they've done it. Someone has done it. Byron of Splitting Slices, 3 year subscriber. Thank you, Byron, for all the massive support. And he's gotten his new avatar tonight. It's the braid skeleton with the knife in his teeth. So look on the screen there in the chat, and you'll see it where he said a couple of different things there, and you'll see it next to his name. So first person to ever achieve such a lofty goal. And I want to make sure to enthusiastically applaud that achievement.
Congrats, Byron.
Good job, Byron. Thank you for the support, buddy. Okay. And other news, we have Chris with the new haircut. Hello, Chris's haircut.
You had to say something, didn't you?
Looks a lot younger without the mustache.
Oh, yeah.
We got
no
Andrew.
gray.
Yeah. Andrew of Baxter's Blades. You hear that okay? Can you hear that all right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So thank you for coming, Byron. Then there's this guy named TK in the room, Stacy at Bolster's Blade. She's displaying these nuts. Thank you, Stacy. Nubs. And she's working her way up. She's got a pretty cool icon too. She's got the eagle one, I think. Yeah. So thank you, Stacy, for your support. And also Baxter got the same one. So Baxter, Stacy, some of my most loyal fans up in the house tonight. Thank you for coming in. And anybody else who hasn't made a comment, if you want to be acknowledged, just say something and I'll see you. And then we can give you a shout out, because I know there's more people in here than have commented. But thank you again for the support, guys. I really do appreciate that. And if you'd like to join the Commando Club, just head on over to my channel. You can do that. And oh, look at that. 10-month member now. Stacy. Thank you, Stacy. So yeah, let's give a round of applause to Stacy. She's been a great supporter of the channel as well. Where did my music go? There it is. Yeah. Here's one for Stacy and for Andrew. Come on, work. The button is not working. I'm pressing it. So I'm just going to do it manually. Thank you, guys. Golf claps.
Nice.
All right. So one of the things I was going to talk about tonight was a wonderful knife that Eric Starr has going as a traveling knife, right? So let me introduce you to that knife. A couple of things about it. This was one that actually was reviewed by Randy before he passed. One of the last reviews that he did before he passed away. Now, this was the sheath that was originally with it. Had the Molly type thing going on.
Yeah,
on
like
the
a
back.
standard ballistic nylon sheath.
Pretty standard stuff. And then Randy created this sheath for it. Again, now Eric Starr made this knife, okay?
Yeah.
But Randy created this nice little sheath for it. You can see it's got the skulls. And it's done in his style. Nothing quite like the Randy style, right?
Not at all.
He lived in schools.
He was one of a kind.
Yep. Of course, we lost Randy back in December 17th, I believe it was, last year. So EFDM, Randy. Thank you, sir, for being a part of the community. And here's the knife. It's again, it's made from a rasp.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to read the description to you guys to get the full details, but this is a micarta type handle, or yeah, micarta type handle, and you can see where the file work or filing is still on the blade, and they've just ground around it. So you have that texture on that side, and then you have the texture on this side.
Yeah, it looks like a farrier's rasp.
Farrier's rasp, exactly what it is.
Yeah.
There, you picking it up there. See it pretty good.
Yep.
Let me go ahead and zoom in, if you don't mind, Chris, so we can get a better look at it.
Is that some type of burlap micarta too?
It does look like a burlap styling there.
It is.
Yeah, I believe
like
so,
it.
yes. Yeah, let me read off this description. Now, Tobias was the one to review it before me, so shout out to Tobias. And we were told to kind of just use it as if it were our own. So I've sharpened it up a bit. Probably could be done a little better than I did, but it's a much better than it was as I received it. And then you can see Eric's shield on there. And it's a little tape measure. It's kind of hard to make out if you don't get it in the right light. Maybe right there you can see it.
Yeah, there it is.
And then you've got the natural filing actually acting as some jimping there.
Yeah.
So right where your thumb would go, you can see some jimping there, and you can see the natural filing work down here, where there's a little bit of a gap in the handle, which is just this stuff here, right? So really nice lanyard on it. Got a nice bead on there. I'm sure Eric does different beads, so he probably made that himself, I'd imagine. And just a fantastic knife. So let me read this to you. This says, here's a little information about the knife. The knife is made from a farrier's rasp donated by the farrier who shoes our horses. So apparently Eric has horses. It is hardened to 56 to 59 HRC. The blade is a full flat ground to 3.8 degrees, and the edge grinds are 25 degrees. The jimping on the thumb ramp is a remnant of the cutting edge, which I showed you there, of the file. The handle scales are olive drab green burlap Ultrex micarta. The pins and lanyard tube are brass. Didn't even mention that. So let's look at that again real quick. Pin brass. Lanyard tube brass. All right. And I made the lanyard bead. Yep, I was right. I did not make the sheath. The sheath was made by Randy of Randy's WSG. This is the third knife I have made, currently designated number 3. So this is called the number 3. Super original name. Eric has said himself. I'm not just taking the piss. He admitted that it wasn't original. And then it needs a name. So please feel free to suggest one. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is suggest a name, knowing how I am, how I name things, my personality. You know me. What would I call this knife? Right? And kind of maybe make it make sense with the idea that it was made from a farrier's rasp, right? That's kind of where my logic would be inspired from. So if you can think of a good name, go ahead and suggest that into the channel here. And it says, if you think you might break the knife during testing, please just catch it on camera. That's all he asks. That's how Eric feels about it. It's like, yeah, he wants you to use it. Now, I would never abuse the knife in such a manner that it would break it. This is a very durable knife. I mean, look at how thick that is. You going to break that by accident? I don't think so. You're going to have to try.
Stuff I can try.
I mean, there's a lot of things you could do to break it, but nothing that I would do using a knife in a normal manner, that's for sure. All right. And he just says, please use a knife as if it was yours. I look forward to hearing your honest feedback on it. Well, here's my honest feedback. I think it's incredibly well done. The grind on it is just, to me, the amazing bit about it. I love the shape of it. Sort of a drop point. Not quite a clip point, I wouldn't say. It's a nice
not quite
a clip point, but a drop point blade. Looks like it'd be a hell of a bushcraft knife.
Well, I would call that like a field knife almost.
Yeah, field knife. Like that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Field knife. And it almost gets a little darker up here.
Yeah.
With the burlap as you go down towards the hilt there. But really comfortable. You can see that choil there. Fits in the hand great.
Yep. You got the secondary choil too. You can chuck up on it even more if you want to.
Yeah, you could come up here.
Yeah, do finer work.
Yep. You can definitely get up there like that on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a knife to be used. Yeah. And I think
why was it sent to you?
Well, that's just it, right? I'm the worst person for something like that.
Especially a fixed blade.
I just thought it was super cool, and I wanted to be a part of it because I knew Randy had touched it. Randy had touched it.
Yeah.
That was going to mean a lot to me. So I haven't been that quick to review it just because I'm kind of cherishing the the vibe of it a little bit before I send it along.
Well, another thing I want to say too, you were talking about the name of it, and it just popped in my head a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be kind of almost a thing to Randy. And it's like, wait a minute, it's made from a fairy's rest, like something you would do in the apocalypse or time after.
Mm-hmm.
Call it the Wastelander.
The Wastelander. Oh my Lord. So we got a suggestion from Terry. Let's go here to the chat. I cannot zoom in. I'm sorry, Andrew. It's a beautiful knife. Watch it back on YouTube later. You'll get to see a real good look at it. Let's see. Do we have any suggestions?
Cowboy camp knife.
LMBK.
Iron hoof.
Living MBL. Kathleen Terry. All right. The cowboy camp knife. Yeah. Cowboy camp knife. I mean, yeah. Hello, Kathleen. Good seeing you here. Yeah, it's like one for the apocalypse, right? Iron hoof. El Cap Addict says iron hoof.
That could work.
Or the cowboy camp knife. All right. So
I'm biased toward mine.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in, El Cap. Appreciate it. That's great. The Wastelander. Stacy likes that one. Well, I gotta admit, I don't have anything off the top of my head any better than that. The Wastelander. Yeah. I was thinking like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
They come riding in on their zombie horses. Right?
Hell horse.
Yeah. Zombie rider. But I like Wastelander. That's a good one. Something along those lines, right?
Yeah, I like the overall design of the knife quite a bit.
Yeah.
think he did a really good job with that.
Yeah, that's a remarkable knife, Eric. So I'm going to point you to this because I know it won't be immediately obvious that I reviewed the knife here in the live. So I'll have to make sure that afterward I kind of link Eric to the knife so he knows I've taken a look at it.
Yeah.
And then I'll be sending it on to Jo over at Jo Ventures into his living room. I mean the garage.
Another thing I will point out too that I'm kind of I'm actually very impressed about. That's only his third knife.
I know, right? Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I'd like to see like his first two and just see what the progression's been like.
I mean, his grinds right there look really good, just for especially being just his third one.
Mm-hmm.
Most time the grinds are one of the hardest things people have. It's one of the hardest things to master.
Yeah, and the hafting, I gotta say, the hafting on it. There's not a pokey edge on that handle.
Yeah,
it feels great, man. So props to Eric. Did a fantastic job. And there's no way in hell I'd do anything to damage your knife, buddy. So the only thing you're going to see me do on camera is put it in the sheath. So there you have it. I did sharpen it though. I did attempt to make it a little edgier. I don't even know if it's a pretty thick blade, so I don't know how much paper we're going to be able to cut here. But you can kind of get through it a little bit.
Well, for a knife like that.
But for a knife that thick, you didn't need to be slicey dicey like that.
Yeah, that'll work great.
That'll work.
Do what it's supposed to do.
It's got a definite working edge on it right now.
Yeah.
So there you have that. But thank you, Eric, for sending that along. And like I say, I'll send this over to Jo so he can be next. But I guess that's the first item of order that we're going to talk about. The other thing, hello, Stan. How you doing, buddy? The other thing, Randy's footprints. Yeah, I know, right? That would be it's a nod. We got to do a nod to Randy for the naming for sure. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was we got a kind of new introduction into more of the traditional knife realm today. Now, it's not a new company. They have not made knives like this before, though. I would say these are much more traditional in styling. Of course, Mark over at MBEDC would yell at me if I called them traditional, but I guess he'll just have to yell at me because they are traditional knives. And I am talking about Jack Wolf knives. They have released photos. Are these out to be bought yet? I don't know if they are or not.
Let me
don't know if they are or not. They're probably going to announce a release date at some point.
Go on my camera again.
Yeah, it happens. Just flip it do.
Hold on,
let me go ahead and just bring this up while you're sideways.
Coming soon at dealers. I don't think
coming soon.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a look at that one. That's the abalone. And I guess they didn't want to put a shield on the abalone when some of these other ones have the shield. You got like what is that? A triple thread on it? Yeah. Triple thread bolster.
Yep.
The blade looks really similar to some of the other clip points that they've had on their more expensive knives. They're calling this the Gateway series. So yeah, they are kind of inching in on a new, I guess, price point. These are going to be like 70, 75, somewhere near $70, something like that.
On their website, $69.99.
All right. So Kathleen says, the Gateway series was available at Blade Show and sold out. That would have been in Atlanta over the last weekend, like from the 7th to the 9th or something like that. And then we'll be on the website in a couple of months. So there you have it. Be available for that. Abalone has a shield. Look close. Oh, does it? Well, I'm not seeing it.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Must just be. Yeah, I see the reflection. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
You're right, Baxter. So, yeah, they all have the shield. Okay. I just thought perhaps it wasn't there because maybe it's a little harder to cut. All right. So there's your abalone one. And here's your carbon fiber one. Let's move me over here. We can make this big. Carbon fiber one. Again with the shield. You can see why I was having a hard time seeing it. You can just barely see it.
Yes, their
Top
photography
edge
needs
of it.
work.
And so there's your black one. And what do we have next? We have the green micarta one. Now I'd say I would probably say this is my favorite one of the 4 that they've made.
That's the one I would choose if I were to buy one.
Yeah, to me is attractive.
Yep.
Also more of a working man's knife. So there's that in green micarta. And then finally we have one over here in blue bone. So that's almost like same color as the Rosecraft knife. Right?
Oh yeah. If they would only done that in white, just white smooth bone,
Mm-hmm.
that'd have been classic.
Right. Now, some interesting choices. I thought a couple of thoughts initially.
Did you do the rosewood one too?
Oh shit, I forgot. So is that 5? I guess that's 5, isn't it?
Yeah, that's 5.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there it is. 5 different handle materials right off the bat. Is that standard? Is that what they normally do with their releases? 5 different handle materials.
I have no clue.
I know they offer different numbers. I want to say when they do them. So 5 seems like quite a bit. So there's your rosewood. Okay, so let me move myself over here. Okay, so I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised that they went this way.
Well, especially after their last so-called budget knife offering.
See, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is like they went with the expensive stuff. I know there was, a number of people that were not particularly happy with the price of their original lineup.
Yeah, because here's the funny part, though.
Well, let's just go through the timeline first before we get into that. So they went through that, and then I don't know, what were they around for? Probably a year or 2, year and a half, maybe. They introduced that more budget line.
I don't even remember. I just remember seeing it and was, how should I say, not thrilled.
Yeah, so they released like a line that had a little cheaper steel, and it was still like $200, right?
Yeah.
14C28, was it?
Yeah, 14C28.
So they were trying to do something to kind of lower the price, but it almost seemed like sort of a haphazard attempt. I don't know if they were all in on the idea, and they were, in many ways, just kind of a less expensive version of what they already had out there.
Yep.
So this is kind of a departure from that into a more traditional knife, because these are all pinned. The others were all Allen screws and more modern in their manufacture. So it just appears to me like maybe they're looking at the success of Rosecraft and going in that direction. Yeah,
I would say so.
Kathleen says it was called the Steel series, and it was $200.
Yeah, way overpriced.
So yeah, I prefer the pins. I do too. I want pins. That was a lot of why I didn't buy what they were offering.
Yeah,
I never picked one up.
The pins are a cleaner look.
Yeah, and it's a traditional method of manufacture. So
construction.
Yeah, sorry, that's a better way of putting it. Construction. So yes, they're what some would say a soulless style knife, but made in a traditional way. I mean, you still got to have hand process to do that. I don't know if there's any way that you can manufacture that with a machine to do the pins. You'd probably have to jig it, do the actual pinning, cut the pins manually, all that sort of thing. Will probably have to be done manually, I would imagine. So there's going to have to be some hand process involved, plus the hafting. How do you
Yeah.
do that with the machine, really? So still some hand processes going on there, even if it's not done in the much more traditional manner like Arthur Wright or something like that, right? So, but I don't know. It just feels a little weird to me that they moved in on this space after where they started. Usually, you kind of come in at a lower price and then maybe go the other direction. So to go backwards seems like they're finally trying to lower their price to a point where people were, they can increase their sales and their reach a little bit. So we'll be interested to see what the reaction in the market is to these knives. I'd like to get one in hand just to kind of have a look at the quality, see if they're gap free, down the middle, all the types of things you might expect from their more expensive knives. So that would be my curiosity. A little bit of a curiosity about it. But what were you gonna say?
Well, I mean, my thing is, I was looking at just the steel itself they used in the blade, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're using same steel, and this one they were using in their other budget knife for $200. Now I
Mhm.
know the construction methods are different, but you can't tell me the other one should cost $200 and then try to call it your budget line. I call BS on that one.
So you're more upset with the previous.
Yes, this one,
Okay.
if that one's fine, the new one is fine.
Mhm.
But the other one, it was like that pushed me over that. No, not spending my money with them Edge. Not gonna do it. I
Yeah.
mean, because you think what was it when I was first noticing them? I think most of their nicer knives were like what 300, somewhere around there. And then now you look at some of them and now they're 350. And I'm thinking to myself, what can you get for 350 or a little bit more? You can get a lot.
There's a lot of options at that price.
Oh yeah, a lot of options and what I would call better options. Um, so I don't know. It's just their prices just kind of just throw me, and I don't. It's something. I guess I'm going with my gut. Something don't feel right. So I just okay. No Jackwood for me.
Yeah. So Terry, yeah, they're making real slip joints. Yep.
Yeah, they're making one.
And Todd says that they're still sweet looking Barlows at good prices.
Oh
There you
yeah,
have it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's a good looking knife.
Byron says that I just think that the JWK hit the top of the demand curve with the premium price point and needed a justification for an affordable midpoint. Yeah, I mean, I just think he wants to sell volume. They're
Oh yeah,
I don't think it's. I mean, for me to look at those knives and say that there wasn't some influence by Rosecraft for sort of like being the guinea pig for the market, right? That mid-price
yeah,
China traditional styled knife. We'll call it styled to make sure that people aren't offended by calling it a traditional knife. But they kind of proved that there was a demand for it.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I mean,
now they're dipping their toe in, right?
Yep. I mean, look. I mean, Rosecraft's been. I think they've been doing great. So why wouldn't other people copy them? Try to do what they're doing if they have a chance.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now
it
we
got to
don't
a
know
point.
this, Dave. It's a little premature to try to make that claim. There's a lot of manufacturers over there that can do similar things. So it could be. It could be, but we don't know for sure. So um, you don't know with some of these, and then sometimes we'll never know. They just they're never going to tell you.
Yeah.
You can only just guess.
Or
The
take a trip
Knife
to China.
Shift, how you doing? Knife Shift, good to see you in here. Says, hey guys and gals. Kathleen is a JW fan, but it does make me wonder if they are OEM'd by the same. Yeah, me too. Well, the price point being so similar too, it kind of does make you wonder.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if we'll ever really know. Obviously, QSP is the OEM for their other knives. So yeah, it's this new line may not be by QSP. We don't know. They can. Nothing's requiring that they use the same OEM for all of their product, so they can shift it around.
Yeah. Not to mention, I mean, you look at some of the Chinese OEMs. Some of them look pretty similar in their quality of work. It's hard.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference.
It really is. QSP Cam produces a Barlow. I don't know what QSP Cam is. Can produce a Barlow. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I mean, they did their other, and they've had a lot of different knives that were, Barlow like. Oh, I can't even name all the different ones, but they're jackknives that they've made. And then they went on to make more modern style knives with liner locks and that kind of thing too. But the slip joints that they made in their early going, I know they made a lot of them that were similar to Barlow's, if not our Barlow's. But I'm not familiar enough with their line to tell you. I know they probably made like nearly a dozen different slip joints in the early going.
Oh, I can't keep up with them all.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you all of them, but some I liked, some I wasn't as big a fan of, but they did make some pretty nice looking ones. But yeah, they're an interesting company. I think time will tell whether or not I pick up a few. But right now, I'm just kind of like, it's, I guess, nice to have options, but it seems a lot like something that Rosecraft's already kind of moved in on that particular market.
Yeah, oh yeah.
For, so,
well, it's like the newer Rosecraft stuff. Was it the Buffalo Jack? Was it? That one.
I don't know.
I think it was Buffalo Jack, one of the ones they just released. That one was the one I was looking at. And
Terry says that they accidentally are alluded to the original runs being Riot because Riot still makes his slips.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I thought it was QSP, but maybe I'm wrong. I think it's just a little funny, and the history maybe repeating itself. I just don't know what company over in China is the new Camillus of the Orient. Yeah. Yeah. It is kind of similar to that situation from way back. LCAP seems to think it's Tucson. I don't know that much about Tucson that makes WK's main line. I think a lot of it is just presumption, right? Because I don't think they're ever really going to just come out and say it.
Again, there's so many manufacturers over there. It's hard to know for sure.
Right. Terry says that as long as they're the same fit and finish, he'd be happy. So, all right.
From the pictures, I mean, it looks good, but You never can tell till you actually get in hand.
Yeah.
So,
Well, for those who know, I've always been a fan of the Rosecraft stuff. Just like what they do, and they've been super friendly to myself and others that I know in the community. So, just a fan of the company for the way that they treat, you know, the community and their customer service and their ability to respond to, the demands of the company. They listen. They aren't stubborn and hard headed and just do what they want kind of thing. And they want to sell knives. I know for a fact that um, some of Slippy and I's influences leaked into the designs. Particularly the sow belly they did, the Stinking Creek. So I don't know that you can never be so presumptuous to say that anybody would ever listen to the customers quite like that, you know. So that means a lot.
yeah,
It means a lot.
yeah, yeah. Most companies wouldn't even pay it any mind.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you, Kathleen. I don't think they, I don't think they will. I just think that it's probably it's not a good business idea to do that. You know, because I don't think contractually that they're obligated to be exclusive to the OEM to anyone. So anybody could come to them and say, "Hey, make our knives like that,"
Yeah,
and then cut the price by $5, and then what does that do to the other company, right? I don't know. Terry says, all I know is that I've handled QSP slip joints at the same time as JWK, and they feel identical. Yeah, I agree. They're very, very similar. I just like another one is like, the knives that are made by Risner, right?
yeah.
I can't remember the names. I know somebody will be able to tell us, but like they've made 3-4 different ones. Ohio River Jack, Ohio Valley
There's
Jack, something like that. Ohio
yeah,
something, right?
and there's Appalachian Jack. There's a
Yeah.
big one. Yeah, there's a few. Yeah,
So yeah,
and they look
I
very
look at those
similar.
knives and I go, man, those look like they're made in the same
Yeah.
company.
Also, notice the price on those too. Anybody in the chat, go look at the price on
Right.
those.
And with as many knives as, Risner, aka traditional um knives. What is it? Traditional pocket knives.
Yes,
Sales.
traditional
I
pocket
would have
knives.
to think that there probably is a connection there.
Yeah.
But that's just, again, it's just I'm just summarizing. I really don't know. I don't have any definitive proof of that.
Well, and going back to that other budget ones Jack Wolf did. That's another thing I was looking at too at the time because I was looking at the Appalachian Jack they made.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wait a minute, that's $200. This so-called budget line is $200. The math
Mm-hmm.
ain't adding up there. It ain't mathing.
Right.
So yeah,
We have a comment here says the knife shift. So I was just at Blade Show, Atlanta last weekend. Why would a company like GC not attend? Their customers seem to really love and stand behind them, yet they weren't at the biggest knife show. Well, the only kind of reasoning that I can come up with just at at a glance is that they just don't have a lot of employees, and to send someone to rep there at the show
yeah.
when they have such low production numbers, they may not even be able to bring product.
Well, also another thing too to think about is they have their own event every year.
That's right.
I think I know at least
Yeah,
once a
they
year.
do have like an
So
in
they're
factory event, right? Something
yeah,
like
so
that.
they're probably saving everything, all the stock, everything they have for that event.
Yeah.
If they go to Blade Show, of course, people want to buy something to have there, and so I think that's just one, probably a couple reasons why they
Yeah.
don't, and that's probably one of them too.
I don't think they're doing it as a slight to the community. I just
No,
really think it comes down to the resources and the amount of people they have available to do such a thing. all the logistics involved in that. So I wouldn't take that as a negative. They're just a smaller company. They can't compete with the big
Yeah.
boys, these massive sellers of manufacturers that
Oh yeah.
produce many times as number of knives as they do. Yeah.
One of these years, I need to make the drive up to their event and check that out.
Yeah. Stacy says, or Andrew says the same thing. They don't make enough knives to be there. So that would be my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they did represent, they'd sell out in minutes, Andrew says.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, because they'd be offered at normal regular price, right? They wouldn't be inflated. So yeah,
Well,
they would sell quick. Yeah.
that's another
100%.
thing too. Just like anywhere else, you
Yeah.
have the scalpers, the resellers at Blade Show.
Right.
I mean, they
Yeah, all these exclusives to the
yeah.
show and stuff.
I mean, because
Yeah.
I remember hearing stories from friends of mine that used to go to Blade Show all the time, and like the other big shows, and if they won, say, like a lottery on a knife for them to purchase it, they would buy it and immediately had people wanting to buy it from them because they would literally turn it around and flip it on a secondhand market or a website, wherever, for inflated prices. So, that would happen to GC as well because, I mean, technically it already happens.
Yeah, it already happens. It's just as a way of them going through the normal chains right now. So
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is GEC the same as the General Electric Company? No, Dave,
No.
it's not. But we appreciate our first Brit in the room tonight. Hello.
Good
Dave.
old Dave.
You can always count on Dave. And
See,
who's not in attendance this evening and wasn't even going to consider coming. That's right.
Yeah.
Mr. Bladen Wills.
Yeah.
Tony, I want to be on the live so bad without appearing on the live.
See, Dave's a real friend.
Dave's the real fan.
Yeah. If
Appreciate
Tony was a real fan, he'd be here.
No, GEC is not the same as the General Electric Company, and you know that. I don't know why you're asking that. You're just taking the piss.
Trying to be funny.
No, they're not the same company. Great Eastern Cutlery is not General Electric. You little. Bugger thought I'd be intellectual. I know you were going to get trolled by Dave, but that's fun. Appreciate that, Dave. You are an absolute intellectual. I will tell you though, you'll enjoy this. We were in Chris wasn't there unfortunately, but I was in with Tony and Holden in the chat, as well as Griff. And Griff's the smartest guy in the room. Usually is.
Well, I think he is anyway.
And I told them sort of a magician's trick. Okay, and I'm going to share that one with you. But before I even get into it, right? I'll just let you know it doesn't always work. But Griff could not handle the math that was involved in the trick, and Holden held up and got it right. So Dave, please, Dave, when you see him next, take the living piss out of him. Because Holden held up and Griff failed at the math. But here's the magician's trick. I'm going to tell you real quickly. All right, get out a little piece of paper for anybody who's got the opportunity to do that. And here it is. It's real simple. It's something I heard a couple of days ago, so I'll just quickly do it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but it's kind of fun. So what you do is you select a number between 1 and 10, and you go ahead and do this, Chris. You'll be my demonstration. All right.
Oh, do I need to write it down? Can I what?
Yeah, really quickly, because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it.
Well, damn it, you should have forewarned me.
Well, I know. It just popped in my head because
what you did.
Dave came in. Holden beat Griff. Yeah, he basically did. Yes, in a manner of speaking. So,
all right,
pick a number between 1 and 10,
Yep.
Okay. Now you want to multiply that number by 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Now the resulting number that you get, you want to add the digits together. Now you may have a 1-digit number or a 2-digit number, but in any case, just sum those numbers. Okay.
Okay.
So you're not using the number itself, just the digits. Okay. Sum those numbers.
Yeah.
And when you do that, subtract 5 from that number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I want you to take that number and we're going to do an alphabetic representation of that number. So if let's say you have A, it would be, or excuse me, 1, it would be A. If you had 2, it would be B, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
Yeah.
So come up with that. I'll give you a second to figure that out.
Go ahead.
All right. You're good. Now,
Yeah.
I want you to come up with a country for that letter.
Okay.
All right. Now, the last letter of that country, I want you to come up with an animal, common animal, one we would have heard of. All right.
Yeah.
Now, once you've got that animal, I want you to come up with a fruit for the last letter of that animal. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you got those 3 things, let me know. You got it
Got it.
all figured out?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I got it.
Now, was your answer Denmark, kangaroo, orange?
Yes.
Okay. So about 50% of the time, the knife or the trick works. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
it works every time because there are other options, but those are the most common answers. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fun little thing to do. It's not that hard to figure out. Basically, what it works down to is anytime you multiply a number by 9, the 2 resulting numbers add to 9. So it always
Yeah.
gives you the same result no matter what number you pick 1 through 10.
Yeah.
So for example, let's say you said 3, you multiply it by 9, you get 27, you add 7 to 2, you get 9. You could take any other, let's say you said 6, right? 6 times 9 is 54, 5 and 4 is 9. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what number the resulting number is, it always adds to 9. So you always end up with the same, and there's not a lot of countries that start with D.
Yep.
So you end up with Denmark and then the kangaroo and then the orange. So there you have it. All right. You could have said something like koala bear, or you
Yep.
could have said Djibouti for the country, but most people don't know how the hell spell Djibouti with a D anyway. But yeah, there you have it.
Nice.
So I predicted your answer, but it's really just comes down to mathematical possibilities. So there you go. A little fun thing. But yeah, Griff got hung up on the 2 digits added together. And Holden didn't have any problem with it.
Maybe
So it was
Griff needs
quite
to go
funny.
back to.
It was quite
Yeah.
funny.
Maybe Griff needs to go back to school.
Terry says, I got lost after I wrote down the first number because my son turned on the TV on at max volume. Yeah, so I can see that being a problem.
It's a little distracting.
Right. And the knife shift to knife shaft. Jesus. Knife shift said he got Denmark, kangaroo, and orange as well.
Yeah.
My mind is blown. There you have it. There you go. So a fun little trick, little party trick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. What else have we got? We got any other knife news? Oh, we do actually. Speaking of Rosecraft, they're going to be releasing a couple of knives in the very near future. They took a couple new ones to Atlanta as well. They've got their new fixed blades. So there's 4 of those. And then you have an easy open jack. I believe they've got a wood handle one for sure, which is the one I'm looking at. And then something in another material escapes me off the top of my head. And then they also have the answer to the original Appalachian jack, which is exactly the same knife and blade. They've just taken the tab off and they've named it something else. So for all those people that didn't want to buy the Appalachian jack because it had the little pry bar on the end, well, now you can buy it as you might have liked it.
Didn't they call that one a Buffalo Jack?
I forgot what they called the name. I don't have the names devoted to memory.
Yeah, but I know that's the one. That's the one I really want. I really want that one.
Right.
Yeah, man, I like
And those are
bigger
available in
knives.
2 handle materials, and the Easy Open is
Yeah.
available in 2 handle materials. So those are going to be coming out soon. I don't have the pricing on that, but they did announce it on Instagram. So that's something I can share with you guys now. So yeah, they are. Yeah, I really like the Easy Open Jack. That's got a lamb's foot on it. So that's don't have a lot of lamb's feet, especially from non Sheffield makers.
Yeah.
So it's a nice blade to have in your repertoire, I guess you could say, your collection.
That's one of my favorite blade shapes, actually.
Yes.
Lamb's foot.
Yes. Byron wants to know, what is the capital of Djibouti? I
These
believe
nuts.
it's that is these nuts. You're right. These nuts. These nuts. Yes. Dave Johnsey says the problem is the result of the placement of O0. So it has something to do with some mathematical thing.
I'm not a
Right.
mathematician. Not even going to
Right.
pretend to be one.
The Easy Open has the skull shield, and Andrew's calling that the Randy shield. So yeah, little skull on the Easy Open for Rosecraft. Dave says he's held the fixed blades and likes their quality.
Yeah, I was looking at those. Like I said, I think it was a Trailing Point is the one that caught my eye, and they're $10.95, so I expect decent things from them, and they're priced right.
Slippy had them on the camping trip in Wales when they were at Tony's place, so he got to handle them.
Of course he did.
Andrew says they haven't been available, or he hasn't seen them available for sale yet. Dave says Jusaki. Oh, that's the true name of it? Well, all right.
Well, Dave has traveled quite a bit.
Dave is a smart man. Dave is a smart man. We got Rosecraft's Fixies are nice, and they had some weight to them as well. They are made from 1095, by the way. I think they will do great at Blade Show. They were $55, $60, and $65.
Yeah.
But many have been Blade Show. But that may have been Blade Show prices. Oh, I see. Yeah, it could have been.
Well, even if they were a little bit higher, some of the other fixed blades they're going to be competing with are generally cost more. So I think they're going to do well.
Yeah, I agree with that. So even if they were, $5 more than what they were at the show, which they will be because you got to pay shipping, right? So it's going to be that and tax, which I don't know if he charges tax. Probably not at the show. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, there'll be a little bit more, I imagine. The capital of Djibouti is Jusaki. It's a joke. I guess I don't get it. All right, well, just explain that one later in Discord because it's going right over my head. Dad joke. Okay.
I think I know what he was saying there, but I'm not going to say it up here.
Nah, I mean,
we can't take Dave anywhere.
Just leave it to the Brit to bring the intellectual level down to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
So, Dave, did you get through the joke and did you come up with Denmark kangaroo orange? That's what I want to know. I'm gone. Good night, Dave. British humor. Yeah, it's dry. It's dry. Tasteless, like their food.
Dry like this Death Valley.
Mm-hmm. God's sake. It's 4:30 a.m. Yeah, I mean, I don't expect a lot. Not at that time of night.
Now, wait a minute. Sun's up. He should be getting up.
Yeah, that's right. You guys have the sun up. It's time to get up, Dave. Get at it. Sunrise, crack of dawn. Yeah, ground fog. All right. Well, I think we're about running out of steam here. It's hot as hell in here without the air conditioner on.
Well, why don't you turn it on?
I think I will. I'm about to die.
Mine's on. I got my fan on too. I'm nice and cool.
I want to let Tony that I took my magnesium this evening. I hope you've done the same. Did you have yours near you? Yep. Look, everybody, take your magnesium. Take your magnesium, folks.
Helps you sleep.
Helps you sleep.
Good for your brain.
Good for your brain.
Yep. I think Griff needs some now.
Time to milk the sheep, Byron says.
Milk the sheep?
Yeah, it's another Welsh joke, I guess. I don't think he means like the milk either. I think he means something else. So we're going to avoid that one.
Yeah.
We're going to avoid that one. Baxter says too early. Well, it's only 8:30 there. Yeah.
That's 11:30 here.
I'm going to try to have Mo on next week. I'd like to line up Andrew the week after. So if that's a doable thing, let me know in the chat, Baxter. Anybody have any opposition to seeing somebody carve live? I think that would be fun. Oh, I'm sorry. Scratch that. Next week is Mike. The week after is Mo. And then the week after that is Baxter. Or we could have Baxter on with Mo, I suppose. Because he's going to be kind of preoccupied with carving, so I might be able to talk.
If the chat's confused, don't worry. I'm right there with you because I'm just finding out.
That's all right. Too. Mike next week. Yeah. Next Wednesday, Mike. We're going to talk leather. And we're going to talk leather. And we're going to talk frontier knives from Imperial. Because we both like those. And he's got a lot to show, and I have a few myself.
I know nothing about that.
You'll know a lot more come next week.
Doubt it, because I'm not very interested.
You better be interested. Boy.
No, not really.
Yeah.
I do have a story for one of those, though.
You do? Quickly. Yeah. We're running out of time.
Oh, well, when I was about 6, 7 years old, went to, was it either Kmart or Walmart? And got one for my dad for Father's Day. He still got it.
Oh.
Yeah. Little Zytel flowered, little, like, rubbery plastic handle ones, not the real nice ones. They didn't have
any yeah, those came later. I think from out of Ireland. They weren't American made, some of them.
No, they weren't American, but he still got it, still uses it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can see why you wouldn't be that interested in those. I'm talking about the early ones. America ones. America.
Well, send me one. I'll tell you what if I'm interested in it or not.
Let me just round up some stickers and other things, and we'll just send it your way then.
That was a joke.
Loot 10 Tex is going live shortly. All right. I've not ever watched him, so go check that guy out. But we're going to call it a night. We're running up on an hour now.
Yep.
Appreciate everybody coming in. Thanks again to Eric for sending along the Farrier's Rasp.
Don't cut yourself. Or as we say, don't randy yourself.
Don't randy yourself. Thank you again to our wonderful human being that we've lost, Randy.
He's still with us.
Yep. With us in spirit.
Yep.
But that's going to do it for this evening. I appreciate everybody coming in and all the joiners on there at the end. Even though we didn't call you by name, we tried to put something up on the screen for everybody. Thank you. That we're able to get the math down in order to get Denmark Kangaroo Orange. Congratulations. We'll see you next week.